welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Adventure Force Tactical Strike Deuce Pro Ultimate Dart Blaster. By the way, this is not on Walmart's website right now. I bought this at Walmart before it was supposed to come out. So it's supposedly supposed to come out in August of 2022, not July. Today is July right now, so it's a little odd that I'm finding blasters at Walmart that come out early, including Saber Wing I reviewed a while back. And yeah, that's what this blaster is. It didn't even have a price tag at Walmart. I didn't know how much it cost till I got to the check counter. So yeah, let's get started by checking out the box. On the front of the box, not too much is being shown, other than it has 18 half-length Adventure Force Pro darts, the darts that we're fairly familiar with on this channel. It has 26 pieces, which just describes how many just chunks are in here, which I guess counts as that thing, the blaster, the cylinder. It has a holster, similar to that of the Dart Zone Pro Mark II. It claims it shoots up to 125 feet, we'll see. And it's ages 14 plus. After all, this is more in line with a piece of sports equipment than a toy. So let's flip it over to the back real quick, and it shows you the contents of what's inside. As you can see, we have a couple of features on the blaster shown. There's a safety lock, which basically is a safety for your trigger. It's like a grip safety, but on the front, I don't know, it's like a rev trigger. You have your trigger, your auto advanced half-length dart cylinder. It has a pro muzzle brake, tactical sight, has your drop leg holster set, and of course it's a cylinder belt. This thing has detachable cylinders, so basically these act as magazines for this revolver. I don't know why they just didn't make a wound clip or a speed loader for this thing and have a drop out cylinder, not a, well, it's a flip out cylinder. I don't remember what they call them. The cylinder just drops out the side instead of doing this removable cylinder thing. I don't get it. But anyway, you can review contents inside by flipping over and open it, and we can get a little preview of the blaster. Here we have the blaster itself, the muzzle brake holster, which clips onto here apparently, according to the back of the box. It just hangs off the side here. We have our two dart thingies, the cylinders. This is orange instead of gray. Oh gosh, I flipped the box over again. It's gray, not orange like it is in real life. And then of course you have your darts back here. Pretty standard stuff. Only I think one other blaster that Adventure Force that Dart Zone released in this line has this open cover thing. But yeah. Alright, let's get to unboxing it. Alright, so here we have all our contents. Did come with instructions explaining on how to use the blaster, how to use the holster. Holster is a little bit confusing, complicated to use, so it has that. Well, we'll talk about the holster later. Let's talk about the blaster. This is a very interesting blaster. This holster, for the muzzle brake is here. I guess you could fire through it. Doesn't seem to hinder too much, but it comes off and exposes the muzzle brake itself. This front sight moves forward and backwards. That's because this barrel here can be removed. So you can have a smaller revolver or a longer revolver. Quite interesting. But let's talk about the muzzle brake first. This piece of plastic here is quite heavy. That's because that little gold colored thing in there, that being the barrel, is not a painted piece of plastic. It's a painted piece of metal. It's probably aluminum, I'm guessing. It looks like aluminum. And so it's made of metal, so it has better air seal. because this thing will actually act as a proper barrel. When Nerf does it, or someone else does a barrel extension, it usually has a much bigger hole. This hole fits the dart perfectly, acting as kind of a sealed breech system similar to that of the Dart Zone Pro Mark II that I've reviewed on the channel, where the longer the barrel is actually improves it rather than dragging across like some of the other blasters are revealed, like the bolt action sniper rifle, the Fortnite one I reviewed on my channel a while back. They all, you know, have a larger barrel, so the dart will just kind of fly through it rather than actually being accelerated here with all the air pressure. I'm guessing this is supposed to increase performance. Not too sure. We'll have to see in the tests. And of course, we have the blaster itself. The blaster itself has a trigger safety. Trigger will not be pulled, cannot be pulled until the safety is held down. It has a pretty standard slide prime. I guess this is a hook so you can like attach to your body or something, I guess. The slide has a tendency to kind of like do that. Kind of like wants to click back. I don't know why. I just found that weird. Barrel. The cylinder can move freely while it's pulled back, and you can just push out the cylinder to get your, get your cylinder back. I guess you could load it while the cylinder's in through this little loading port here. So I guess if you don't want to pop the cylinder out, you can just load them in one at a time. And then when you're done loading, push it forward and fire. Now the cylinder can't move while it's in the forward position. That's because, take the cylinder out, it has a pusher that shoves it into the barrel. It's not firing from the cylinders like other revolvers, it's firing from this little barrel. I will say right away, the cylinder's a little bit hard to get out. It feels like you're breaking it. Also, putting the cylinder in can be a little difficult. You don't push it in all the way. Just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the loaders, the little cylinders here. These cylinders have two sides. They have these little hooks that prevent your dart from going all the way. If you push too hard, it kind of pops out, but they're to prevent the dart from falling out the bottom, because these are quite a loose fit for these darts. Because it's trying to have a pusher go through them. And if you have them the size of the dart, it can't push it into the barrel. So, there's that. We also have another type of dart here. These being the Dart Zone Max darts that you've seen in one previous video, which was the chronograph video. These two fit in your cylinders, just like that. So here's your cylinder holster. Your cylinder holster, you would put them face up, like so. And it holds them in pretty well. I guess if your darts are a little loose, they might fall out, but you know, it's what you're gonna have to work with. Has these little retaining clips here. This thing fits on a belt, loops around a belt, goes on like so. So here's the holster. This is a leg holster. So this will wrap around your thigh, and this hooks onto a belt. Actually, maybe even your, yeah, this part will wrap around your thigh, and this one will wrap around. Will attach to a belt through that little loop. And the blaster can actually fit with the muzzle brake in it, in this holster. However, if you don't want the muzzle brake, so where am I going to store my muzzle brake? Well, with the holster, right? Right, your holster. But the holster doesn't seem like it can clip on. Well, that's what these little holes are here for. Go in there, and you clip it on like that. Won't come out. And if you do want to take it off, you can take a screwdriver and take those out. So if you want, you can go like that. You can go like that. And there you go. Like so. I will say that the muzzle brake holster cannot hold the sight because it just won't fit on there. Anyway, so with that all out of the way, talking about every little bit in this little package here, let's move on to our accuracy test. Alright, so we have our Deuce Pro, and we have our cylinder filled with our Adventure Force Pro darts. We're gonna first start out the test without the muzzle brake, then we'll move on to a muzzle brake test. So we have our targets, and for my keen viewers and viewers of the channel, you might notice that the accuracy test is a little less green. Rest in peace, grapefruit. Let's have a moment of silence for it. Okay, so here we have our Deuce Pro. I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to go for the target on the left. Oh, by the way, the sight picture on this thing, it's kind of like that. It's weird to see like a round rear sight. Usually they have like a squared one. So let's go for the one on the left. Missed. Too high. Too low. Oop. The cylinder didn't rotate. That was an empty cylinder. Could have sworn I didn't have more than 6 shots in here. There you go. To the left. Is it? I'm gonna go right off the bat and say this thing has a knack for not rotating. Why it's not rotating? Come on. Yeah, this thing has a problem with rotating. Too high. Okay, let's move on to same thing, Adventure Force, but with the muzzle brake. I guess I missed all those. I don't know, it was a little weird. Alright, move the sight forward. Get a better sight picture. Too high. It didn't rotate. And it skipped it. The empties are supposed to be here. Why is it over there? That's a little weird. It's skipping the barrels and, you know, or not even rotating it. Oh, got it. I'm going for the one on the right. If it will load. Oh, got it. Okay, I felt the dart go in that one. We'll go for the cans now. Oh. This thing's loud. Like, really loud for some reason. And those darts are going all over the place. I don't doubt this thing's going to have a 125-foot range. Okay, let's go on to the Dart Zone darts. Alright, so we have our Deuce Pro with our Dart Zone darts, Dart Zone Max darts, loaded in there. Hopefully we won't have an issue with cylinder rotation. Start out without the muzzle brake. We're going to start out with the one on the right, left. A little high. To the left. Oh, got it. Go for the one on the right now. Had a cylinder rotation error. We got one more shot. The one on the right. That one kind of fishtailed. It's a little weird. Oh, we have one more dart. So you can rotate it to the. Okay, try again. Oh, a little high. Just skimmed it. We'll go set up that target, and we're gonna do it with the muzzle brake. I will go out and say this thing is really loud. Like, I don't know, it's just a little loud. Alright, so we're gonna go for the one on the left. Some muzzle brake. Oh, let's bring the sight all the way up to the front. Hope that increases my aiming accuracy. It's so much louder with the barrel. My goodness, this is not a suppressor. Oh, that is cylinder malfunction. Rotation error. Oh, skipped it. Do we have any more? I don't feel a dart in here. Oh, I think we do. Oh. Go for the cans now. Oh, I got 2 of them. and that's it. Right? Yeah, that's it. Okay. I'm gonna try to hit that can again. And I'm gonna show off the loading gate thing on the side here. I guess you could load darts in through here if you wanted to. To make it easier, instead of having to drop out the cylinder every time, go for 3 shots and see if they get that can. Just to demonstrate all the features of the blaster as best as I can. And got it. That thing just goes flying. Alright. This thing is no joke. Let's go on to the speed and range test. Alright, so here we are at the range test. For context, as usual, we have the chicken at 25 feet. The frog is at about 45 feet, about 40, I think it's 40 feet, well, 40 feet. And then that back wall is 50 feet from where I'm standing. We have our chronograph here to tell us the speeds. We start off with our Deuce Pro. Oh, dang, this thing's hard to prime. There we go. Start of our Deuce Pro without the muzzle brake, using our dart zone. Our Adventure Force Pro darts. The darts that it comes with, essentially. Okay, we'll take a couple shots through the chronograph. Light kit is on, and 119. Duplicate 119. 125. Duplicate 125. Cylinder malfunction 107. And 121. It's safe to say this thing went to the 50-foot mark. Alright, Adventure Force Pro with the muzzle brake. 140. 144. This thing really hurts my ears. 140. 133. 149. Cylinder rotation malfunction? Oh, no. That's just it. So this muzzle brake actually improves the blaster by like 20 FPS. I'm surprised. Alright, so let's move on to dart zone. That last shot did skip. It's right there. I'm just going to fire it through. And then we'll do dart zone. This will be part of the dart zone part. 142. Alright, we're going to do the dart zone without the muzzle brake. So dart zone darts. 111. That's a little bit odd. 119. 106. I keep hitting the side. It skipped the cylinder. That was angled. 111 again. Skip a cylinder. Let's go back. Hits the wall at an error 3. And 115 hitting the wall. So it's not, they're not going straight either. So let's try it with the muzzle brake. Have our muzzle brake on. 148 and hit the wall in the back. 154. 148, and that dart actually bounced back. 164. 133. And we missed it. Hit the wall, and 155. Empty cylinder. Alright, so let's go check out that range data, though I really don't think we need to pull out the measuring tape to find they hit the wall that's 50 feet away. And there we have it. The dart right back there. There's a dart there. Dart here. This is probably the most darts I've seen in this pit. And what's really interesting is this dart right here that bounced out, that, okay, weirdly enough, hit the wall. A lot of them hit up here in the tree, but most of them hit the wall. So I will go out and say it can go up to 50 feet. I'm not sure exactly what the max distance is, but I'm willing to say easily it can probably at an angle go 125 feet. So yeah, let's move on to my final thoughts. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Adventure Force Deuce Pro? Before we do that, as always, let's go over where I bought it and how much I spent. I bought this blaster at Walmart, which by the way, you can only buy this at Walmart due to being an Adventure Force product, for $39.97 USD. Let's move on to the pros and cons of this blaster. Well, let's start off with the cons about this blaster. The first con, and biggest con, is if you saw in the firing demonstration, this thing would either not rotate or would skip. That's because this thing rotates when it's pulled all the way back. So if you pull it too lightly, just enough for it to lock the plunger down, but not rotate it, then it won't rotate. But if you pull it back and end up like kind of doing a double pull, it will skip the darts. So that is kind of an issue, I would say. It's a pretty heavy spring. But despite that, trigger's actually not bad. Too bad. Another kind of con I have is I can't rotate the cylinder while it's primed. I have to prime it back and pull the cylinder out. That is a little bit of an issue. Also, from what I can see, I don't see any unlocking button anywhere unless I'm completely blind. I can't see any way to unlock the slide when it's fully primed. Also, taking the cylinder in and out is also kind of feels weird. Feels like you could break it, because you have to push a lot harder than you think. And that little piece of plastic is just a piece of plastic. It's not spring loaded or anything. This is spring loaded, by the way. So I'm not sure how long this will last. How long that will take to wear out. Not too sure. I would prefer it to either be a fixed cylinder or like a button on the side, where you can pull down or push and it just pops the cylinder out. Or you can like drop it out to the side here. Another minor con, I would say, is probably the sound. This thing is pretty loud. With the muzzle brake especially, I think just like makes a weird cracking noise. It's not like the blaster, it's the dart coming out of the barrel. I don't know what that noise is. It is loud. It is quite loud. But other than that, not a lot else on the lines of cons. So let's move on to the pros. So the pros on this blaster, I would say what you get out of it. First, start off with what you get out of it for the price. $40, you get a holster, some extra cylinders, really nice blaster with good speed, good accuracy, a gimmick that actually works and does improve the blaster, and yeah, overall you're getting your money's worth for $40. Only $40 for this thing. Very similar to the Dart Zone Pro Mark II that I reviewed earlier. 6-round capacity, has clips, has a muzzle brake, has a holster, clip holster too. It's very, very similar. And it's half the price and easier to get because you can just buy this at Walmart, not having to go online, purchasing it and getting delivered. Also half-length blaster. Anyway, also some minor pros. First minor pro, very interesting pro. Despite having to pull back, you can actually load the blaster to this little loading gate here. I think I demonstrated that during the Dart Zone demonstration. I also like how the sight can move back and forth, so you can still have a sight regardless of having the muzzle brake on or off. Also like how the holster can actually have the blaster fully assembled and still be in here, just like that. And of course, there's a muzzle brake holster if you don't want the blaster, so you can just be like, oh, I don't want the muzzle brake on, so I just take that off, and let's just holster it yourself, and then holster that in. The holsters, we'll start off with these, are pretty nice. These aren't going anywhere. The muzzle brake's not going anywhere. The blaster, on the other hand, shaking a little bit, comes out pretty poorly. The muzzle brake holster can actually be used like so. You can just take it off like that. You don't have to take the muzzle brake out. It can also be used while being in the while being in the holster. I don't know why you would ever have that, but there you are. And yeah, this thing, like I said, pretty fast, pretty accurate. quite comfortable. I know I keep picking up putting it down, but it's quite a comfortable blaster to shoot. Has a pretty decent sight picture. Prime's not horrible. Trigger definitely isn't horrible. It's better than the Mark II, I would say, when it comes to the trigger pull. And yeah, you are getting your money's worth when you're buying this. It's only 40 bucks, like I said. Would I recommend this blaster? Yes, I would. But of course, like in the Deuce Mark II, it'd be more for a piece of sports equipment, not like for indoor use. Outdoor use and with older people, like teenagers and adults, I would say. So yeah, that's it with the review. We're done with the review here. Comment your thoughts down below about this blaster down below. Comment what else you want to see on this channel as well. Be sure to check out the Dart Zone Pro Mark II review blaster. It's very similar to this. It's pretty much the same thing. Half-length blaster, but 6-round capacity with a bunch of accessories. Also check out my other reviews on this channel. I have the playlist linked at the end of this video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.